you. We're going to go to questions. And I recognize the member for Etobicoke Lakeshore.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. And very interesting. And two members are both from the Toronto area, Beaches East York and Scarborough. Now, to the member from Beaches East York, you commented and you mentioned a study from the Annex BIA. I know you're a former councillor. I was wondering if you know how many BIAs there are in Toronto. Do you believe that all areas of Toronto are identical and the same? And just on your thoughts, and my other question is, have you discussed your comments with the Executive Director, John Kuro, who is the chair of the BIAs for the entire City of Toronto?
Thank you. The response, member from Beaches East York.
Of course, I know about BIAs. I was with you at City Hall. And, Toronto's a very unique city. It's a city of neighborhoods. And absolutely, the neighborhoods are very different. Yeah. The beach with swimmable beaches is quite different from my friend in Scarborough. Yeah. And your riding of Etobicoke Lakeshore. But you know what? Shops have said and businesses have said, and the facts are there, that businesses thrive when it's a walkable, livable, urban, you build urban livability, basically, in your area. And you know what? I'm hearing from my residents, and I am sure you're hearing from yours. And I'm hearing right here from a man named Richard, who's told me that he and his wife purchased bikes. She's 65, he's 68, and their life is completely different. They're healthier. They're getting around the city now in physically separated bike lanes, and they're so thankful.
Next question, the member for Kitchener Centre.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A letter recently put out by 59 scientists states that emissions from transportation are the largest and fastest growing source of greenhouse gas emissions in Ontario. We are set to not meet our 1.5 degree targets, leading us to an unlivable planet. I wonder if the member could speak to how we need to rethink how much gas we burn and how much choice we give so people have the choice not to burn gas and not to be part of this.
The member for each.
Thank you very much for that question. And it's interesting that you would say that because we know emissions are not healthy for us. They're not healthy for the planet. They're not healthy for ourselves. And there's actually a letter from signed by 100 ER doctors begging for bike lanes to remain in existence and talking about the health benefits of them, not only for humans, but also for the planet. And we are trying to reduce congestion. We're trying to reduce greenhouse gases. Putting in safe cycling infrastructure is an easy way to do that, cheap and cheerful. But if you rip it out, you're going to waste a lot of money doing that. Well, it's cheaper than $1 billion booze doggle, that's for sure. And you know what? I don't put a price tag on someone's life, actually. So safe cycling infrastructure is good for everyone.
Thank you. Next question, the member for Sudbury.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you as well to the member from Beaches East York. Her story about being hit by a car was startling, and so, I experienced something as a teen where I was hit by a car and cracked a rib. So I know what that can be like. Something else she said, Speaker, was that a lot of people really want to get a family doctor, and some people feel like this is a distraction from the family doctor. And connected to bike lanes, I think about my city. One point we were known for obesity and heart disease because of lack of mobility. In fact, we have some of the best heart doctors in the world because of that. But with the expansion of bike lanes and walking paths, that number of people with heart disease has really come down. Being from Northern Ontario and seeing in Southern Ontario people using bike lanes and traveling with their children, I see the benefit of people getting around. You said at one point, each bike on the street is one less car. We need to find ways for people to travel that is safe in a car or in a bike or otherwise. Can you please expand on how important it is that we have a variety of forms of travel and not just an ideal?
Thank you. The member for Beaches East York.
Well, thank you for saying that. And, this is all a distraction from the real point, the scary fact that 2.5 million Ontarians do not have a family doctor, and I'm so glad you brought it up, because cycling actually leads to a healthier lifestyle and a healthier planet. And there's a letter here, I'm sure all of you have received this, I'm sure you've read it verbatim, from the Canadian Association of Physicians for the Environment. And they're saying that bike lanes reduce deaths from chronic diseases by increasing levels of physical activity. And a recent long-term study conducted in the UK found that cyclists who commute to work are 41% less likely to die at an early age. 52% are less likely to die of cardiovascular disease, and 40% less likely to die from cancer. There is no drug in the world that can deliver that kind of health benefit. So way to go, safe cycling for everyone, safe bike lanes.
Yes. Next question, the member for
Etobicoke Lakeshore.
Etobicoke Lakeshore.
Well, thank you, and thank you to the members again, and to the member who just asked the question. I'm fascinated to find out how many people in Sudbury cycle in late January to work. But to the member from Beaches East York, and I just want to let you know there is 84 BIAs in the City of Toronto. That means 84 unique communities with different needs. I've also read the bill and read the speaking points. Nowhere in the bill does it say that we are removing all bike lanes. And this is my concern when I'm getting these death threats to my house, like a man, Robert, just emailed me and says, "You are a murderer." Or the gentleman who said he's going to drive by my house and throw blood on my doors because I have blood on my hands. This is the problem when we misspeak when it comes to bike lanes or other type of policies. I don't mean to be negative in here, but I don't like the fact that people are sending me these type of death threats to my house, or stopping by my house to take pictures, these cyclists, because I want bike lanes on Bloor Street removed. So can the member opposite tell me where she found in the bill that it says we're removing all bike lanes?
Thank you. Back to the member for Beaches East York.
I don't know where you heard me say about removing all bike lanes, because I sure as heck hoped that you're not thinking of that. I was mentioning certain streets where the bike lanes especially have done spectacular benefits. But, you know, I'm not sure what you're hearing from your residents, but we know for a fact that we need to build safe infrastructure for everyone. So we have sidewalks for a reason. Yeah. We're not ripping out the sidewalks just because I don't see anyone on that sidewalk or I don't see anyone on that road. I'm not ripping them out. We have sidewalks so people can walk safely to get to and fro where they're going. We put in cycling infrastructure as well. And we know without physically separated bike lanes, more people will die. They absolutely will die. I got knocked off my bike on a road without a bike lane. Alex Amaro died in vain on a road without a bike lane. So we need to put it in. It is 5% of the streets in Toronto have them.
Next question, the member for Umber River Black Creek.
Thank you, Speaker. We're certainly living through tough times. I don't think anyone has ever had to wait so long in an emergency room for a diagnostic test. Record number of Ontarians without family doctors. The list goes on and on and on and on. And it's not easy for the government, of course, to have to wear all of this because they'll blame anyone, never take responsibility on any of it. So now we've got a $100 billion tunnel. We've got constant fights being picked with those living in urban centers who have a progressive mindset on the future. And so my question to you is, how much do you believe about what they are doing is a cynical distraction to try to tell people, don't focus on the fact that their lives are way worse now than 6 years ago. Just focus on something else. Do you think there's any of that in any of the moves that they're doing here, or do you think this is something else?
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I totally agree with the member, and a lot of these policies that are coming out, especially with this Bill 212, absolutely it's a distraction. We know fully that this is not going to get rid of gridlock, is not going to get rid of congestion. It is just to distract us, like the announcement of building a tunnel on the 401, which we know it's not going to get built. It's over $100 billion. We're also looking at the $1 billion spend.
Thank you. Thank you. There's no more time.